As the Vic Mignogna sexual allegation story continue, many fans within the community that stand with the hashtag IStandWithVic movement have pointed out the hypocrisy behind Ron Toye, Jamie Marchi, and many of those that are on board with the hashtag KickVic movement in wanting to discredit Vic Mignogna in having to have any irrefutable factual evidence to support the narrative that he is innocent. Well, with the recent controversy of the hashtag KickVic movement not wanting anything involving harassment be done on both parties, we have some very interesting screenshots that date back all the way to the beginning of the month, which reveal the exact opposite of what the KickVic movement had been encouraging in not harassing people, in not targeting people, and I want you guys to formulate your own opinions in the comment section below if you believe this is a hypocritical stand or if this is completely justifiable in allowing these people to fight back against those that are questioning their stances and position in wanting Vic removed. As once more, if you guys are new to this channel and of course love anime and Dragon Ball alongside want to be up to date with all the latest involving Vic Mignogna, Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, Ron Toye, and the entire situation, then be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload and to be up to date with all latest news and information. As a user on Twitter by the name of Mr. Gray went along to post the following picture as it details, "Hey man, I have something for ya. If you want to show this in a video, by all means go for it." Now, what exactly is being shown in the picture? Well, a user by the name of Hio goes on to ask Ron Toye, and I quote, "I don't like that Vic got falsely accused," with Ron Toye having to respond to him and stating, and I quote, "He isn't. He assaulted Monica, and before you even ask for evidence, go ask your mother if that's appropriate to ask a victim of assault." As he goes on, "I don't give a rat fuck about what you think of me, and yes, go ask your effing mom what she thinks of your pathetic opinion." Kind of going a bit overboard by bringing in someone's mother in a situation to where someone is stating that Vic got falsely accused, and sadly enough, he isn't the only one, as a user by the name of Chamber of Hearts went on to also post on their Twitter, "What the? Explain this now," and the individual being put into question is an individual that goes by the name of Shane. Now, who is Shane? Shane is actually an individual that went on Rekieta Law's live stream in debating him on the entire Vic Mignogna situation. Now, very similar to Ron Toye, what Shane went along to do in responding to someone on Twitter, as an individual goes on to ask, and I quote, "They are scared of this entire fiasco going to court since they know they will lose. Look at Shane's tweets and replies. He is in every thread doing damage control. Paid shills, I'm telling you. That's quite a few of them doing this constantly. Who has the time for this?" As Shane goes on to reply to this individual named Goshell by stating, and I quote, "By the way, those stalking charges are adding up. I would be careful on who's listening in. Would hate for your mom's house to be raided and all." Clearly making direct threats and warning this individual that his mother's house is going to be raided by the police. As Goshell goes on to reply, "Did you just threaten my mom with a raid? What the F is wrong with you?" This is what Jamie Marchi and Monica Rial's toxic paid shills are doing on social media, harassing everyone into silence. Hashtag KickVic, hashtag IStandWithVic. I have taken screenshots just in case you delete that tweet. As another user by the name of Jocko goes on to reply, "Holy F, the amount of shitty human behavior on display is just sickening." So similar to Ron, we have another individual here basically bringing in another person's mom into question, or at least threatening to do something in this particular scenario. Now, by the end of this video, I'm going to show a brief clip of Nick Rekieta Law's live stream in which he had a debate with this individual named Shane on the entire stance involving Vic Mignogna and convention contracts in being put into question as to why Vic Mignogna was removed from specific conventions without reason. As once more, I do encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button because I will be keeping you guys in the loop with all latest news and information, and make sure you guys spread this video on Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere that you can to get the information out and allowing people to see here the objective narrative in what's going on involving both parties. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys a small clip of Nick versus Shane from the previous debate involving Vic Mignogna, involving the conventions and contracts and whatnot, so I highly encourage you guys to check out Nick's channel. I will leave a link to that down below. Support him because he is a individual, I believe, solo practitioner of law in Minnesota. So again, credit goes out to him. And I want you guys to go ahead and check this out and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below involving all of this, because it's very ironic how there is one side that is putting a lot of stances into question while the other side is now beginning to make threats, attacking people's parents, and even going as far as to make threats involving raids and possible police action, which again, I don't condone any form of harassment, any form of having to raid people or dox people. That in and of itself is egregious and could end up getting you locked up, because basically what you're doing here is breaking the law to an extent. So I want you guys to go ahead and check this clip out. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Once more, I do want to go ahead and mention, if you guys are not subscribed to my main channel, Unreal and Gaming, we're going to be covering lots of anime and Dragon Ball related stuff there, in case you guys are completely unaware of that, which in and of itself does offer some relief and for people to kick back and enjoy some of the things that don't involve all of the sticky situations that a lot of people have been placed into right now. So I hope you guys take the time to do that. Check out Nick's channel as well. So without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into it. Here we go.
That is a separate cause of action in Texas, and when it involves business defamation, you don't actually need to know about the contract. And if you show actual malice, which you would allege based on the statements of various VAs from Funimation, you would allege actual malice, especially considering some of the VAs have admitted to being part of an investigation, and those VAs have subsequently shown themselves to fabricate evidence of swattings and other things. Okay, you would mention actual malice, you would allege it, hope to find it on discovery. I'm guessing if you go through enough corporate communication, you can find that there was an effort prior to the release of Broly to remove Vic. That effort failed, and then there was a second effort to remove Vic after the release of Broly, which succeeded. That's pretty easy. Now, you don't have to have knowledge of any specific contract in business defamation, because when you impugn a business's ability to conduct business within its trade or within its market, damages are presumed, because you don't know which contracts would be affected or not affected. So no, you don't have to prove a specific and before you jump in at the end of this, there's a further statement, because I'm going to head off the argument you're going to make. But you don't have to prove a specific convention dropped him for this statement or for any other statement, because any number of conventions might have sent him a letter of invitation, even ones that weren't mentioned, even ones that aren't part of the 17. That's why you presume damages, because there's no way to understand the scope of damages that are caused by business defamation. It's called defamation per se, negligence per se. It's as a matter of law. You don't have to prove damages. However, even if you wanted to go into each and every con that dropped him and bring a cause of action for tortious interference with a contract, a specific contract, you could get past that, because in Texas, even if there's an exit clause, because I know you threw that in there as some sort of gotcha, but in Texas specifically, under Texas Supreme Court decisions, even if there is a cancellation or termination clause, up until the moment it's terminated, tortious interference still applies. So even if you give a valid reason for them to cancel a contract, and they cancel a contract, but the communication was done with actual malice and was not privileged, you still have tortious interference, because you're in Texas. And because you're in Texas, truth isn't a defense. But I'm not the one who knows this, right? You certainly have a counter argument within the jurisdictions we're talking about, correct? It wouldn't be that way in Arkansas, in Louisiana, in Alabama, in Washington, D.C., in New York State, in California, but it is in Texas. So, please, tell me now where I'm wrong, since you're the expert.
I'm sorry, I actually wasn't paying attention to all of that.
How embarrassing you are. You are the most embarrassing person I've ever seen. I just laid out exactly what you asked. I just laid out exactly.
They're saying right now that you look angry.
I am angry. You're wasting 4,400 people's time.
4,400. Wow, you got a whole bunch of people who just heard you say that you didn't know the first thing about what's going on with Vic's lawsuit.
Oh my God! If that's your takeaway, from this, oh, okay.
Someone just said that maybe if you talk louder, you'll be right.
I write the entire time. You haven't shown a single shred of where I'm wrong.
Shown a single you're not right about. You don't know anything about what Vic is doing. That's the end of it. You don't know anything about what Vic is doing. You're making wild conspiracy theories on the internet. You're making speculation. You don't even practice Texas law. You're not licensed in Texas.
And shockingly, I know so much more about it than you that it's sad.
And yeah, that's why you've been wrong every single time. That's why you've never seen a contract. You've never seen a contract for his employment. You've never seen a contract at a convention. You're assuming what actually happens in Texas law when it comes to contracts. You have never, as a matter of fact,
I'm telling you very clearly what happens in Texas law with contracts. You didn't even listen. You're too busy. You're too busy looking at Lolly or whatever you're doing. I don't know.
You've never actually been to court. You've never actually been to court in Texas for a convention contract ever in your life. You have never been to court in Texas for a contract for convention. I have. I've written the contracts. I've argued them in court. I've won in court. You've never done that. You are an internet lawyer in Minnesota doing a podcast trying to tell someone in Texas who writes these contracts and who's won these contracts in court what the actual law is, and saying that
it's pretty easy.
I know, because I've watched your videos. You're the guy who gets online, argues what you think is going to be the case, and then when it's argued in the other favor, makes another video and says, this is why the court was wrong. That's what you do. You basically argue what you think it should be, and then when it's decided against you, you make videos saying why the court was wrong. That's all you do.
Which video did I argue where the court was wrong, where I thought it should go a different way?
You're basically an internet hack catering to really bad people.
Catering to the who? Catering to the who? Say it. Say it.
Catering to the really bad crowd.
No. Name it. Name it. Name who you wanted to name.
I was going to name the people who are defending blackface lawyer.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah, good job. You win. Great.
Hey, you're a First Amendment lawyer. I respect you. You're a First Amendment lawyer. Absolutely. I have respect for you for standing up for First Amendment rights. No hate there. You do what you do. You're a First Amendment lawyer. You have a right to stand up for it. That's fine. That you're a lawyer. That's what lawyers do. Absolutely. There's no hate with you standing up for that as a lawyer.
No hate for it. It kind of sounds like there's some hate for it. Did you want to say it caters to the alt-right? You can say it here. It's safe. We're in a safe space.
Oh no, there's no safe spaces, honey.
Because you said caters to the alt, and then you stopped. Go ahead and say it.
I'm gonna say that you cater to. You're gonna cater to a branch of people that even some people on the alt-right are ashamed of. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what you do.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, now back to the subject that you brought up and demanded. You demanded I name a thing, right? So I said tortious interference with business prospects. Then you said, how is he going to do this? Then I laid out literally step by step exactly how you do it in Texas, and you said, I wasn't listening. So why don't you go in and tell me where I was wrong?
Well, first of all, because tortious interference in a business in Texas, that you actually can't do it. You can't just basically go to any random contract in Texas.
You're confusing. This is so sad. You're confusing tortious interference with contracts and tortious interference with business prospects.
Okay, first of all, no, I'm not. We have already established that I'm the person who's actually been to court for contracts in Texas, and you have never done that. So.
And why am I so much more versed in it?
Obviously, you're not. I mean, obviously, that's why you're just a podcast lawyer.
Then name where I'm wrong. Name where I'm wrong.
Well, I was just doing that before you interrupted me. Okay. I'm afraid of being embarrassed.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tortious interference of a business in Texas. The company if you're suing a company, you have to prove that company intentionally meant to interfere with a contract out of malice.
Oh my God. No, that's tortious interference with contract,
It
not
is
with
not. Go look it up on-
not
go
with
look it
business
up.
prospects. Look it up where? Where are you reading it from?
I understand that you're a YouTube podcast lawyer. Can you at least look at Google before you come on these shows so you don't embarrass yourself?
Oh, buddy, take your own advice.
I did. Trust me, I did. Trust me, I did. And I'm coming on the show, and I am nobody. I am nobody. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm not a lawyer. And I'm sitting here telling you the law in Texas, and you're a guy who didn't bother to do your research before you came on this show.
You
Much
have
like
said
everything you
so
said
many
in the last
times.
few times.
You're laying out very well the elements of tortious interference with a contract.
With a business, but you keep interrupting me because you're afraid of getting embarrassed. And I can bring up the case law if you would like.
Go
Unless
ahead.
you don't want to be embarrassed on the internet.
Go ahead.
Here,
Believe me, I have
I'm gonna
no
bring it-
fear of being embarrassed on the internet.
You obviously not. I mean, shit. I mean, people are already talking about this. This shit's getting spread around right now.
Good. Put it all out. You realize, of course, I do this publicly all the time.
I do realize, and I realize that there's a reason why you did the GoFundMe, and I realize why that you have been catering to the people you cater to, and I realize why you're putting out the conspiracy theories, and I understand. I know what it's like for someone, you know, I understand why you're doing what you're doing.
What you don't understand how to do is answer a question, apparently.
No, yeah, okay. As a matter of what your 44,000 viewers have been saying this entire time while you've been going on a rant, getting all red-faced, is 90% of the time I've been sitting here laughing at you while I'm typing to other people because a lot of the stuff that you're saying is ridiculous. And here's the thing: at the end of the day,
you realize that real quick. You realize that this chat that is running, that you're claiming what they're saying is archived, right? And it's playing on, like, people will be able to watch it. Like, you realize, okay, I'm just making sure.
I'm glad that they can actually watch it. I really am, because it's going to come in handy later. So, at the end of the day, at some point down the road, Vic is himself going to decide what he wants to end up pursuing. He's going to decide if he wants to end up pursuing a PR campaign to try to make a comeback in the business, or if
you're supposed to lay out the elements of tortious interference with business prospects in Texas. Like, where did that go?
I'm working on it right now. We're having a conversation while I'm working on it.
Oh, I guess. I mean, it's fun that you're getting Cliff's Notes from Discord and using Google. But I mean, I think you'd have it ready.
I hate to have to do your work for you. I really hate to have to do your work for you, but this is apparently what I have to be doing. So here, do you want to share my screen and let's go over this with all of your viewers, and you can lay it out with your lawyerly advice?
Go ahead, share the screen. It's focused on you right now. Click on the green arrow.
All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and lay this out. Let's go with this one first. This is just the first one I pulled up. I haven't read it yet. So let's see if this is a good one. I don't know if this was a good one or not, but we'll find out. Let's read it. Proving fraud can be complex. Sorry, Nick. But the idea is straightforward. You enter a contract with a third party who lies about a significant fact. You recover more damages through litigation. So I guess we'll come back to the lies about significant fact, because your entire argument, of course, is that Vic can prove that everyone lied about him. But we're going to leave that for later. Let's just go on with this. Fewer people, even sophisticated parties to contract, understand, trust, blah, blah, blah. So here, let's go over the basics. A contract exists between you, a third party, willfully and intentionally interfered with that contract. So, Nick,
yeah,
a contract exists between you and a third party willfully and intentionally interfered with that contract. This is not, I mean...
Can you, wait, go back down to, no, go back to that, please. We weren't done.
No,
we weren't done. I wasn't done being educated. Now go up 2 lines. Go up 2 lines and read the bold text. Read the bold text. No. 2 lines from where you were.
Basics.
Go down 3 lines now, I guess. Have you been drinking more than me?
To prove tortious interference with an existing contract.
Yes, tortious interference with a contract.
With an existing contract.
Yes. You got it.
Hold on.
You have learned.
Wait, hold on. You're going to tell me that your entire conspiracy scheme is based on the fact that Vic knows which cons are going to book him?
No.
This year?
No. How do
an existing contract.
Are you serious? No. Are you serious right now? You're trolling. You have to be trolling right now, right? Like, because I've said over and over and over again that tortious interference with a contract is a separate cause of action.
Okay,
it's not what we're talking.
Let's talk about this line right here. Willfully and intentionally interfered with that contract.
Yes, because that's tortious interference with a contract, which I've said probably 50 times that we're not talking about that cause of action. Oh my God.
All right.
No.
Let's do this. Nick, bring up your law text because you're the law expert. Bring up your law books and show us.
No. I don't need to because I've said over and over we're not talking.
I got it. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to show you what I'm talking about.
I don't need to. I'm actually an expert. I'm the guy who writes the webpage. Do you understand? Like
your webpage? I've seen it. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing.
Good.
You got a webpage. You got a webpage updated in January of 2018 with a YouTube video.
Yes.
I don't know what you're saying. You're an expert at.
I'm an expert at law. Oh my God.
Obviously not.
Buddy, you don't realize, like, this is weird because from the get-go, you kept saying with an existing contract, and I'd say no, not with an existing contract. That's a separate cause of action. That is a separate thing entirely. And then you go to your source and you read tortious interference with an existing contract. I mean, like that.
Halfway down the page while I was reading a brand new page that I admitted I had never read before, and you stop me and say, "Wait, that's not what I'm talking about." And I'm like,
because it's not.
Read the rest of this page.
I've said I know you didn't read it. It's obvious because I said over and over we're not talking about tortious interference with an existing contract because I said I don't have the contracts. And
yeah, exactly.
Yes, I don't have the contracts, so I wouldn't bring that cause of action.
Would you like to see one? Do you want to see one?
No, I don't. What would it help?
No?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not bringing that cause of action. I'm not even proposing that cause of action. Your brain is stuck on a loop, on a gotcha loop, where you think I've never even mentioned tortious interference with a specific contract.
Oh, no.
I've never mentioned it, and every time you bring it up, I say, no, not that one. No, not that one. No, not that one.
Well,
we can bring up... It's business defamation, man. Oh, my God.
Hold on, I got a message from one of Vic's people. Let me just look at it real quick.
Oh, good. Sources all day. Lots of dead air.
Dude, this is one of Vic's people. I have to respect one of Vic's people when they're talking to me when I'm on your show. I mean, seriously. I mean, drink your rum. Go for it.
I don't. I'm not pointing at the rum, buddy.
I mean, these people are closer to Vic than you are. So, I mean, if they messaged me in the middle of this interview and they knew I was having it, then I need to answer them.
Yeah, you better answer them.
Oh
yeah. When are you ever going to address any argument I've made?
I addressed arguments you made throughout this entire show.
No, you didn't, because I've been talking about business defamation, which comes out to tortious interference with prospective business relations, which involves a false statement that is made that causes interference with prospective contracts, not existing contracts, and damages are presumed because it's defamation and you don't actually have contracts. Because if you could just unperson someone and they never get work again, you're like, you couldn't get contracts again. That wouldn't be an effective remedy of the court.